Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. So recently I did a video of a zoologist, myself, reacting to viral ball python TikToks, and this got more of a response than I was expecting. A lot of people said to me, please can you do a part 2 and can you keep doing this kind of content? So this is what we're going to do today. This video may be a little bit harder for you to watch, but there is some important information in there. So if you do enjoy this, please let me know, please like, subscribe, and please tell me what you'd like to see next. Let's dive straight in.
One of the most satisfying procedures I do in veterinary medicine is removing stuck eye caps, or shed, from snake eyes. When a snake has difficulty shedding, sometimes the spectacle, or eye scale, does not shed properly and come off with the rest of the shed. This can lead to decreased vision and behavior changes such as moodiness and even reluctance for some snakes to eat. I start by applying artificial...
So there we've got an exotic vet who clearly knows what they're talking about. They're doing a procedure which can help restore the snake's, albeit slightly impaired vision. And whether you decide to do this, if you have a snake with stuck spectacles, is up to you, or you can wait till the next shed and try and really pay attention to humidity. The reason I've stopped the video there is actually what I have a problem is how the snake's being held. So I'm going to have to demonstrate on my finger, because I don't want to do this with an actual snake. If you hold a small to medium-sized snake, you should try to hold it with your 2 fingers behind its jaws to help immobilize it, and another finger on top of the head to stabilize it. When you hold it like they are in the video, with a finger underneath across its windpipe and another one on top of its head, you're actually making the snake feel like it's suffocating, and you're essentially clamping down on the more delicate parts of the snake's anatomy in that area. So for me, that's a big no-no.
Now this could be a little bit confusing, so bear with me. The banana gene is tied to the snake's sex chromosome. So how does this work? A female banana will produce an equal ratio of male to female snakes with the banana gene. However, a male banana that was produced by a female banana will be considered a female maker. So when this male banana ball python breeds, all of the banana offspring will likely be female. And the same goes for males. If the male banana was produced by another male, that banana is going to be a male maker. So all of the bananas that it produces are going to be male. I know that could be a little bit confusing, and I'll do my best to answer any questions in the comments, but I'm happy to say that this little banana made it safe and sound to its new family.
So once again, you can't fault the Molinaro Snake Labs information. They've always got good information, and that was spot on as far as an explanation of the banana gene goes. But I have to say that no matter how many times I hear it, I still find it confusing.
Can I give you a big hug? No, thanks.
That's a fair point. I've had friends in the past that every time they come round, they want to get all the snakes out, and you know, I've got other stuff as well. They want to look at the parakeets, the tarantulas, etc. And sometimes you have to gently say, well, no, you can't handle them all the time. They're not a cat or a dog, and they need kind of some space between handling. So that's fair enough.
This baby ball python decided to make pabibo while I have Jim over here because he's gonna get his very first ball python. I was actually teaching them about handling when I got bitten. And this is the very first time na nakagat ako na may constriction kasi meron siyang intention na kainin yung daliri ko. This happened because I handled a mouse first before handling her.
Good thing to remember. Don't handle rodents, rabbits, or birds before handling your snakes. That person will be okay. It just takes a while to get them off when that happens. Yeah, so there's a lot of people who disagree about how to keep ball pythons correctly. One of the main arguments is heat from above or below, tubs versus vivariums, etc. But whatever side you fall on, it's clear that showing snakes, even just for a few hours in what is clearly a very uncomfortable situation, doesn't illustrate your point as best as it could.
Okay, I am here with my oldest ball python. I got her in 2014. Let me just put her down because mabigat. Wait. Kanina ko pa kasi itong hawak. Ayan, ang clingy. Ayaw, come on. You might wanna go explore. Ayan, ganyan nga pala sila katulala kapag outdoors. They get overwhelmed. Ayan. This one is a 2014 baby. I was able to breed her for 3 times already, so this pretty much is her adult size. So yeah, you can still handle it with, or handle her with one hand.
Yeah, that's pretty average size for an adult female. Some of the females, after you breed them for a few times, they get quite chunky and they maintain that chunkiness. It doesn't necessarily mean they're obese or overweight, it's just how they are. Also, what I would say with that female was that she was really, really bright, considering that she was a few years old already. A lot of them get darker, but that one was a lovely colour. Oh dear. Well, I think what's interesting about that video is that one of the ball pythons in it didn't actually carry the spider gene. But aside from that, this is another topic that people disagree on all the time. People get very heated about it. I don't have spider ball pythons myself. I know breeders who do. I haven't stopped speaking to them or disowned them. It's just one of those things. It's a moral decision. And the person you need to listen to when it comes to moral decisions is yourself. Sorry, I just had to throw a pink one in. I know it's obviously fake, everyone knows it's fake, but people keep putting these things up and they keep getting clicks and it keeps working, so I'll just join in, what can I say? So, that's a good point. If you have good humidity, I aim for around 65% for ball pythons myself, then most of the time your snakes will shed in one piece. Where this starts to change is with the really big species like retics and Burmese pythons. A lot of the time they kind of wiggle and bust for skin as they get out of it because they're so big and so heavy and corpulent. But for ball pythons, yes, generally we want them to shed in one piece.
The most dangerous animal on this planet. A violent creature filled with hateful thoughts and a lust for...
Yeah, so that was a fun video with a nice British accent going there. Unfortunately, what I noticed towards the end was that the snake does have an infection active in its rostrum and its labial pits. That was quite a beauty. So xanthic snakes are snakes which lack red and brown pigment, or sorry, red and yellow pigment rather, whereas anerythristic snakes are snakes that lack red only, so that is the difference. And what I would also say is that snake was stunning. In real life it would probably be even more impressive than on a video.
It looks like this little snake might come out of his egg today. Oh, never mind. He decided he's too comfortable in his egg.
So that is the the most frustrating thing about hatching ball python eggs. They do that all the time, especially when you have your first clutch. You're so excited for them to come out, and I mean I've sat there and watched them all day, even though, you know, I'm a grown man. I've just sat and watched them waiting for the babies to come out, and they will literally come out sometimes even 2/3 of the way out and then go back in, and you have to wait, you know, another day. It's just, Incredibly frustrating. Is it just me, or was there something off with that snake? If so, let me know in the comments what you think.
I recently took in my sister's baby ball python. The baby ball python's name is Ivy. My sister bought her from a reptile expo back in July, and Ivy has not eaten at all, and she has not pooped. It's concerning because Ivy is losing weight and her spine is poking out, so it's just really concerning and sad. My sister is a vet tech. She has taken Ivy in to see the doctor just for like a normal exam. The doctor did confirm that Ivy did not have mites, but she is severely underweight. So my sister has done syringe feeding for Ivy, but we're just trying to see if we can get her to gain weight quick, like, because she's refusing every meal. We're only offering frozen thawed mice. Tried heating up the mouse with a hairdryer. We've tried chicken broth. Like, we've tried, I feel like, almost everything except assist feeding. So that's what I'm gonna try to do next. But a few things that I'm going to do differently with her enclosure: I'm going to empty out all of the substrate and lay paper towel down. That way I can monitor better, and that way when she does poop, I can take that poop sample into the vet to get tested for parasites. She is in my bedroom, so she's away from my other reptiles for obvious reasons. If she's still not eating, we may have to do blood work. We're just trying to explore all of our other options first before having to do blood work. But she does obviously have a good vet that we could go to if need be. So any nice advice is greatly appreciated.
So the last thing I would want anyone to think would be that I was criticizing this person, because they are doing their best. They've taken the snake to a vet. They're willing to spend money on trying to get it sorted, and they are doing their best. The only thing I would say is that sometimes we have problems with ball pythons that won't feed because they are small. We put them in a big enclosure. They don't know what to do. They stop feeding. I can tell you with 100% certainty that that snake will not feed on its own now. It is an impossibility. It just won't. That's their nature. So what we end up with is we get kind of the animal railroaded into the veterinary route. Blood works, maybe an x-ray, testing the poop, etc. All good stuff to do when there's genuinely a disease at play, or a pathogen, or a parasite, sorry, as well. But before all of that, before syringe feeding, which is horrendously stressful, or anything, your first stop should always be husbandry. And the first stop there with a ball python that is very small and not feeding is to put it in a tub about that big, with a thermostat controlled heat mat, a very nice heavy hiding place that it only just fits into, and you cover that up. You make it dark, you make it safe and secure. Because the truth is, we get this argument all the time of tubs versus racks versus vivariums, etc. And people always seem to think there has to be one or the other. In my experience over the past 25 years, every time I've seen a snake like that, and there hasn't been a disease at play, remember there still could be a disease at play, but when there isn't, it's come down to a stress response. And what you do is you put it in the tub set up until you get it feeding, and often assist feeding is the best way to go. It's less stressful than force feeding or syringe feeding. And when you get the snake feeding, when its confidence grows, its body weight's going up, then you increase the tub size, and then you get it back in the vivarium or a big tank or whatever. You don't have to use one enclosure or the other. You use the enclosure that's appropriate for the time and the illness or whatever's happening. So there's nothing wrong in starting out small and putting it into a 4x2x2 vivarium later on, or tank. There's no problem with that. You've got to think outside the box, and you've always got to think stress first with ball pythons.
Did you know that it is illegal in Sweden to feed your reptiles with live animals? That's why I buy my mice, rats and chicken frozen. And then I just throw them into the fridge and defrost them. And after that, it's time to feed my reptiles. And to answer the question you might be wondering, I have an extra fridge specifically for reptile food. The snake I'm feeding in the video is called Nacho. Can you guess what species of snake this is?
Sounds pretty good to me. It's no secret that here in the UK we've long admired the Swedes for our stereotype of them having better moral responsibility, and they also appear to have good standards of animal welfare. Again, I don't want to get into stereotypes, but at least they're nice stereotypes about the Scandinavians.
I've got some sad news. As you can see, this ball python egg is half good and half bad, and this little snake yesterday hatched. He pipped on his own, and I opened the egg a little bit more so he could come out, but sadly he didn't make it. I don't know what I could have done differently. I don't think there was anything I could have done, but just checked on him today and he's not alive, so that's very unfortunate. I guess I should have known something was up because all his siblings came out, but he was still lingering in his egg. All his siblings are doing okay though. I'm gonna open his egg up a little bit more and see if I can tell what was going on. I was a little hesitant to make this update video because it's kind of ending on a bad note, but I didn't want to just post the video of him hatching and then never have another update on him again. I think this is probably for the best, posting even a sad update, but I mean, this is life, I guess. What can you do? He hatched, but then he didn't make it. Poor little guy. I guess I should look at the positives of this. I wasn't even expecting his egg to have veins when it first was laid, but not only did he develop all the way, but he also was able to pip on his own, and he was even alive for a day. So I just opened up his egg off camera, and I don't know if he ever had a chance at making it. His yolk was all bloated and everything, so I don't know what was up with him. He probably had some internal organ damage as well. It's really unfortunate that he didn't make it, but such is life, I guess. Sorry to say this will be the last update of this good bad egg. Sorry it couldn't end on a better note.
So that was an update from the half good half bad egg, which was in the part 1 of this video, which I'll link below. And honestly, in part 1 the guy had put some springtails in there, it cleaned up the mold nicely, and I honestly thought that that snake would make it. I thought it would hatch. I didn't expect it to hatch and then die shortly afterwards. So that is a shame. That's disappointing. It's especially disappointing for the breeder there to have the snake go all the way to hatching and then die. But the rest of the clutch are healthy, so there is a positive there. And the truth is, if you do breed basically any reptiles, any vertebrates in fact, you will have issues like that from time to time. And these videos are about, showing you everything really. So me, I don't personally cut eggs. I never have. The only occasion where I'd do it would be if one hadn't hatched days after all the others. And given that this content creator usually makes pretty good stuff, and I haven't seen him cut many eggs, he may have had an egg which is taking longer to hatch. But whatever the case, thankfully that one looked healthy.
괜찮아. 괜찮아. 괜찮아요.
Well, nice to end the video with a cute one at least. So again, we've kind of seen the good, the bad and the ugly with these videos. I know some of these will have been quite hard to watch, but the reason I included them was really that if you want to keep pets, and especially if you want to breed them ever, and if you want to keep reptiles, which are kind of a different kind of pet, then you have to expect some trouble along the way. I've had pets die, pets have congenital deformities I didn't know about till they grew up, and I've kind of dealt with all these things over the course of the last 20 years. If you can get yourself familiar with the issues that can happen, but also the good practices and the amazing moments like hatching animals or getting your first snake, then you can get a good balance in your knowledge and be more prepared. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know, and please let me know what to do next. Thank you very much.